What's up, Hawkeye fans? Welcome back. We are recapping the big win versus Michigan State. We're also going to have a special guest, Nico Ragaini, in the house, and we're previewing Purdue. This is Talkin' Hawks, presented by Hills Bank.
No matter where you are in life, Hills Bank is here to help you succeed. Whether you're buying your first house, saving for your child's future, or preparing for retirement, you can count on the people at Hills Bank for the support you need to reach your goals. It's easy to connect with a banker in person, over the phone, or on hillsbank.com because we believe banking is better through human connection. Hills Bank is an equal housing lender and FDIC member.
Hello, Matt.
Hey.
How are you?
Good.
No, you're not. You're spicy today. You are. I'm just going to say, on our way in and until just about when we sat down, you've been in a bit of a mood.
I've been focused. That's the phrase I'm going to use.
And I'm very scatterbrained, and it's frustrating you.
No, it's just, opposites attract. If you're a little bit...
Yeah, but you're not attracting me right now. You're irritating me. Okay, here's the thing. We've talked about love languages before, and they say, what is the love languages? Like gifts, words of affirmation, that kind of stuff. My love language is that, like, you let me say whatever I want to you and you really don't take offense to it. At least you don't tell me you take offense to it.
No, I don't.
Like, I can tell you, like, you are irritating me right now. And you just say, okay. And move on with your day. So just a forewarning, if Matt seems a little off, he's just a bit spicy.
Also, I feel like we do need to do a disclaimer that she does actually like me. I feel like she just kind of goes in on me on the podcast, but like we actually do have an amicable marriage.
No, we do. And it's all because of Matt, because he doesn't care. He doesn't care. My sister is always like, I cannot believe that you say the things to him that you do. And it's like, he just loves me so much.
They're all done lovingly.
Yeah, I just, it's to make you better. And me too.
Michigan State.
All right, Michigan State. Let's jump in. I just wanted to give a disclaimer before we
needed something.
All right. It was a great game. I had so much fun. The weather turned out lovely, which when the sun went down, kind of got a little cooler. We had a slight breeze, but not too windy. It was nice.
I feel like it's unbelievable the difference between the night, whiteout, crappy weather away versus home, blackout, still night game, nice weather. And obviously lost to win. Like it was almost meant to be the exact opposites.
Yeah, a little 180 situation. It was super fun. We had some really good guests in the house. We had a Robert Gallery, which was cool. He was inducted in the College Football Hall of Fame. So he was our honorary captain. We had, who else was there? Mike Daniels. He got everybody hype and pumped up. And then we also had Marcus Luttrell, the lone survivor.
Interesting.
You familiar?
Not very, no.
Okay, so he was a Navy SEAL. I'm not going to try to get into the technical terms of all of the things that he did because I will for sure botch it, and I don't want to do that. But really incredible story. He wrote a book about all the things that he did where he was like the lone survivor on his mission. I think it was in the 2000s. I'm going to leave it at that so that, again, I don't butcher this. And then also the movie The Lone Survivor was based off of his life and his experiences.
I'll have to go check it out.
Incredible and such a cool guy. And now he's like a motivational keynote speaker that travels around. And he was in town with Robert Gallery. And so he came out on the field and got everybody pumped up. He had the game day bibs on. He's like, I got all dressed up for you. It's like, you did. You killed it. So anyway, really cool to have all those guys. And I'm sure there were more on the sideline too. But that's who kind of joined us. And head coach Lisa Bluter also was out on the field. So that was super cool.
Bluter's Bunch?
Yes, I would love to be the leader of Bluter's Bunch, but I think that's Lisa. So I could be like...
That's fitting.
I could just be on the board.
The board of Bluter's Bunch.
I love that for me. Okay, let's talk about this. We saw a new face at quarterback. First of all, just want to say we are thinking about Cade. That is just absolutely heart-wrenching. And like Kirk said in his post-game press conference, goodness, if... you see a guy that has to get helped off the field, it's never really a good sign. And I guess they're just going to kind of see what's happening, what's going on as the week goes. And he does this, is it Tuesday press conference?
Yep.
Yeah. So probably get a little more of an answer there as to what happened. But we saw Deacon Hill take the reins a little bit. What did you think?
Well, before we talk about Deacon Hill, first of all, like she said, thoughts and prayers out to Cade. It's going to be an interesting time now for Cade. I feel like obviously there's a lot of hype with him coming in. There was a lot of just buzz around him being able to come into the program. People talked often about how he's a leader. how he conducts himself. And so I think this is going to be an incredible opportunity. And I'm saying opportunity for a reason, an incredible opportunity for how Cade continues to be Cade. Just because if you're not doing something on the field, how does he help Deacon Hill understand what defenses are doing? How does he keep all the guys locked in and continue his role more so as like a coach, essentially, until we figure out how long this injury is? It didn't look good, obviously, non-contact. You hate to see it. But, I played with a bunch of guys, including myself, that got hurt for long periods of time. Luke Lachey is still a captain, and he's hurt. So, and out for, I think, the rest of the season. I know it's a long-term thing. So, like, you see that kind of stuff, and it's like, okay, how can you continue to improve when you're not playing? And what does that look like? And it kind of turns into how much of a better person can you become, better coach, better teammate, and those things become the forefront of your mind. And so it'll be interesting to see how he takes that opportunity. They showed him a lot on the sideline. He's engaged, headset on, trying to make sure that everybody's around him is still continuing to play well. So that's very cool to see. In terms of Deacon Hill, another transfer, he was either third or fourth string, I'm pretty sure, at University of Wisconsin. I thought he played really well. There's one interception that he was a little bit late, but outside of that, like, he moved well for 260, rolled out quite a bit.
No, so I love him because it's giving Big Ben. And when I say it's giving for all our listeners out there, like, he reminds me of Big Ben. Like, he's really serving it. I think it's great. I'm a big fan.
He seems, at least early on, he was pretty like composed in the pocket. And I'm not going to say he got less composed as the game went on, but he just kind of sits back there like, okay, these guys are only slightly bigger than I am. If I get hit, it's probably not going to be as big of a deal.
Yeah, I love that for him.
So that helps. And not only that, but like our QB sneak has got to go for like 90 yards a play now.
Just every play. We don't need
I'm pretty sure we got 4 or 5 yards in the QB sneak that he did run.
We need no running backs. We just need a really good fullback. Just up the middle every time. So,
but no, outside of that, his arm strength was really good. He was finding some guys. And pass game really didn't take too much of a step back, in my opinion.
Yes, let's talk about the pass game, because last week, post-game presser, Kirk had said, I think it would be good if we got our wide receivers involved in the mix a little bit more. Did you see that last night? I feel like, yes, we did, but some unfortunate mishaps.
Yes. So part of just getting your receivers involved is making the defense defend the entire field. If they know they only have to guard 2 of the guys, they can really just go man-to-man on the outside 2, go 2 over 2, not worry about it, and then they keep 9 over the other 9, which if, let's say, we're in 12 personnel where we got 2 tight ends in, they can really bring their safeties down and kind of go 9 in the box, and it's really hard to run against those kinds of defenses. So the fact that we got them more involved drops. We have to talk about it. And when I played, I kind of considered things drops and muffs. A muff was something that you absolutely should have had. Like, there's no excuse for not having it. That's a muff. And then there's a drop where it's like, that'd be really cool if you caught it, but you didn't, but you probably could have. Like, it's kind of iffy. It's unfortunate that there were more muffs, I thought, than drops on Saturday night. But the thing that I liked is that the ball placement was great. I mean, these are all makeable catches because it's either hitting them right in the numbers, like Kaylen Brown hit him right at the 3. I'm pretty sure Deontay Vines hit him in the middle circle of the 0 on his jersey. Like, that kind of stuff is ball placement. And to have that from your backup quarterback is really key, in my opinion. Eric All dropped one on the very first drive from Cade. It's a quick out, but he's open on the quick game. Like, we're starting to utilize a few different things because we got them more involved. Now, I understand Eric All is a tight end, but he needs to get his touches. I think he proved that we got to continue to get him the ball. But even Nico on the little crosser over the middle, I know he drops it, but like, again, quick game where Deacon doesn't have to hold on to the ball, and we have an opportunity to turn, a decent play, into like 6, 7, 8 yards, depending upon what Nico does afterwards. And I think there's something to getting the ball to your players in space. We utilized a few different screens out there. Eric All scored on the one with his first, second, third, fourth, fifth effort. Like, I don't, there was a lot of really cool things there. But we tried it to Nico and got a couple yards. So they're doing some different things. But because you do that, then they have to respect it. And then we were able to hit Deontay on kind of a far one, and it's unfortunately, again, he dropped it. But like, just giving them opportunities. I know they're going to be buttoned up in practice this week. There's going to be a lot of eyes on them in terms of, obviously the offensive coordinator knows, head coach knows, receivers coach knows, but like, knowing that your starter is out everybody else has to elevate their game to make sure that there's no decrease in the offensive efficiency. So I think that utilizing those different parts of the game, we saw Deacon roll out quite a few times, and I foresee that to continue. But like, there were a lot of really good things in terms of how the game was played. We're just inches from making those plays. And once we make those plays, I think this offense can turn into something a little bit better as the season goes on.
Okay, so question on the muffs/drops. Is there that much of a difference of throws from quarterback to quarterback?
There can be.
Like that you've noticed? Because I know you played with CJ and Jake Rudock kind of switching off. Like, was that tough? I mean, not to bring like other conversations in, but just in the thought of like, okay, well, maybe some of that was due to the fact that it's tough to switch from your starter who you've been practicing with all week and weeks prior, and then having this other guy come in and his throw is just a little bit different. Is there any validity to that, or what does that look like?
There's validity to that. And I'm also going to tell you that the 11 guys on defense don't care.
Well,
like that's going to be that's the bottom line.
I mean, it's just.
But yes, as a receiver, yes.
Okay.
So like CJ's ball came out a lot faster than Rudock's. And CJ also had touch. Like, don't get me wrong, he didn't just like sling it and try and break everybody's fingers. But like that ball was coming out, and you kind of knew placement wise, CJ had pretty good placement of the football, which is why he's still in the league because he's a really good quarterback. So like that kind of stuff does change from player to player. But Deacon Hill was putting these where they needed to be. You know, we saw Seth Anderson one on a slant, I think, or a glance, and it's out in front. He uses his hand to catch the ball. You know, right out in front, tough ball. Deacon's throwing it on a rope, and we make the play. You know, like those things are there to be had. Is there a difference? Yes. But I mean, as the coaches are going to go back, you know, Coach Copeland used to talk about all the time, I'm going to coach against perfection. And no matter who's throwing the ball, like if the ball's in the air, it's ours.
Okay, let's talk about the run game. Are we ready for this? Ready to talk about this? That was my question.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the strength of our game.
Okay.
You know, obviously LaShawn Williams with the fumble doesn't help. We bring in Kamari Moulton, who did fine. You know, we averaged 3 yards a carry roughly for whoever carried the football, but you know, the quick game has to be part of the run game. You know, I would consider, now there were a couple times where there was a reel that went out about how I talked about bubbles and how they can be utilized. I mean, they're playing their safety 12 yards off. Their corner is 8 yards off on the outside, and there's nobody over number 2. And what I mean by number 2 is our slot receiver. They brought the linebacker into the box and said, we don't care what you're going to do out there. Like, that's a quick hitting bubble that can go for 3 yards, easy every single time. And that's a pre-snap read. So I think that can also be an extension of the run game. You might not get the rushing yards you want, but like you can utilize the pass for the run, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you always say that. That like the pass, if you open up the pass game, it'll open up the run game. And vice versa.
But almost like as an extension of the run game. Like if you feel like your run game isn't, maybe we're not moving guys up front the way we need to, you can use those quick stuff on the outside and essentially use that as your run game. Like a bubble, you're expecting 3 yards, just like when you run the football. You're only expecting 3 or 4 yards.
3 yards in a cloud of dust, Matt.
That's the phrase. But like if you can utilize that in the pass game, then that's just an extension, quote unquote, of the run game, but you get all the big guys out of it.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Makes sense. I got you. Okay, want to go special teams or defense next?
Let's go defense. Finally being completely opportunistic. And I said this on the preview of Michigan State is that you will have opportunities. 4 turnovers. That's incredible. Now, we turned it over twice on offense, but 4 turnovers. Cooper DeJean loves the blackout games. Last blackout, he had a pick 6 and a 40-yard punt return. And then this blackout game, he had a pick and then a 70-yard punt return for a touchdown. So apparently Cooper, you know, they say the stars shine brightest at night. So it was pretty cool to hear all the coops.
Yes.
But, and you had that interception right in front of you. I'm sure you're always at that south end zone.
It was literally right in front of me. And also I've never seen like stone cold like as much as that was right there. Mean? Like he did not smile. He did not celebrate. He caught it. He was right in front of our dance team coach. Like as he caught it and then just did like the slow, I would get up and do it, but it would just be so embarrassing. But he did like the slow kind of like this kind of thing. And is like, you know, and their helmets bobble like this because they're just feeling it. And he was just deadpan face the whole time. Just stone cold.
Like this is what I do.
Yeah. And then just walked over, flipped the ball to the ref and just kept walking back. Everyone's like, yeah, you know, patting him on the helmet and stuff. And he's that checks out.
I'll say based on after talking to him, yeah, that's Cooper. And I think he did the same thing on his punt return touchdown.
Yeah, probably.
They smacked him into the wall because everybody was so lit. And he just...
Yeah. Like, next play. Let's go.
Yes.
We're still in this.
That's a dude who stays ready.
Yeah.
And what's great about that is he was in zone, so it's not always the easiest thing when they tried to run a double move and he didn't jump the chump as they say. So the chump is like the shorter route, and so if you jump the chump, then they go deep, and then that's how they score. Well, they tried to run it on him. He kept his eyes on the quarterback, but he's got good feet, got good leverage, understands ball placement too. The Michigan State receiver made a terrible play on the ball. Meanwhile, Cooper just caught it over like. Cooper could have gone up and tried and made that play too, but he's like, he's not going to make that play. And then went over, caught it over his shoulder. Like, that's a pretty cool thing.
It's just funny when you say those things because you always try to like be nice and just give the factual thing. Be like, no, he made a terrible play on the ball.
He didn't catch it and he didn't even touch it. Yeah, he goes to Michigan State. So.
Oh, that's good. Okay. What are we on next? Special teams?
Yeah, special teams look great. Obviously, punt return was good. Punting was pretty good. Torrey had one, and I want to talk about this a little bit. So the one that he didn't quite hit as well as he normally does, and it hits one of our players. There was a huddle around the ball, but their returner was still right there. Luke Elkin all of a sudden realizes, okay, we should pick this up, because if the punt hits the punting team first, the return team can have a free play. Not everybody knows about this rule, so that's why I'm going to talk about it a little bit. So let's say it hits Luke Elkin, our long snapper, on the way down there, and we don't down the ball. What can happen is, meaning we don't pick up the ball and give it to the ref. Michigan State could have picked up that ball, ran it all the way down to the 1 yard line, fumbled, Iowa ball, right? No. They get a free play, so it goes back to where it hit Luke Elkin in Michigan State's football. Now, if Michigan State picks it up, goes and scores, Michigan State touchdown. It's an absolute free play. So finally, there was a little bit of urgency, towards the end of it, like, oh, wait, we got to pick this up. It hit one of us. And so little things like that, I think, are continuing to go, because those are nuanced rules, like jumping over the center or jumping over the long snapper on the field goal. You can't do it. So we're starting to get some of that stuff, and it's showing up. And then Drew Stevens, 4 for 4 with a 53-yarder. That's consistency. That's Iowa football. Going out there, doing your job, and then, move on to the next.
Cool. I also have to say I saw Torrey pregame when he came out to do, they always come out first.
Yeah.
Not dressed, just in his warm-up gear. And he's like, hey, how's the podcast going? I'm not going to do his accent. I'm just not going to do it. And I was like, oh, it's good. It's good. And he's like, you getting some views? I was like, we're getting a lot of views, Torrey. We're not getting some. Come on. And he's like, well, is mine the most? And I was like, I think so. It's between you and Cooper. And he's like, yeah, I really set the bar, and now it's just going like this. I was like, okay, rude, but so that was kind of funny.
Thanks, Torrey.
Friend of the podcast.
Friend of the pod.
All right, so are you ready for your unsung hero presented by JB Roofing?
Yeah, unsung hero is Max, and I want to say it correctly. I believe it's Llewellyn.
Okay,
that's how you phrase it. It's 90 L's are in the last name, but our producer's nodding his head. Yes, there's a lot of L's in that name. So anyway, it's on the punt unit, and it's actually on Cooper DeJean's punt return for a touchdown. Now, the entire punt return team did a phenomenal job. That can't be understated, because Cooper caught the ball, and he had 15 yards of nobody. That almost never happens. So everybody that was out there blocking did a phenomenal job. I'm pointing out Max Llewellyn because he actually is one of the guys that rushes to make sure that the punt gets kicked. So we don't always rush the punt to block it. I mean, a lot of times it's rush to hold up, where you're just pushing it back, making sure it's punted, and then you hold up your guy. Well, we're just making sure it gets kicked.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why don't you always try to block it?
Well, you're trying to block it through the guy, and then you're already blocking your guy if it does get punted, but then you're still there just to make sure that it gets kicked.
Okay.
I mean, you can still block the punt. I'm blanking. Coach Woods would always bring it up that the definition of rushing to hold up is you're still trying to block the punt. So I guess, yes, you are trying to block the punt, but more so you're just making sure that it gets kicked.
Okay.
Maybe I should rephrase that.
No, you're good. It was just a question.
So you do want to, yes, you're still trying to block it, but we're not bringing 7 or 8 guys. Maybe that's the way I should phrase it.
Okay.
So yes, the 4 guys that are rushing are trying to block the punt, but we're not bringing 10 guys and leaving Cooper back there by himself.
Okay.
Maybe that's how I should phrase that.
Okay. Continue.
Okay. So anyway, Max is one of the guys that's rushing to hold up. And so he's, at the time Cooper catches the ball, he's roughly 50 yards away from the play. It was a really good punt by them. But because we did such a good job on every other aspect of the Gunners going down, Cooper caught it with a lot of free grass, I guess you could say. TJ Hall is blocking his guy. He's working really hard. And so TJ is trying to set up a certain way. Cooper runs, so the Michigan State guy runs there too. Max Llewellyn is actually chasing his guy down, and he probably chasing him for about 30, 35 yards back towards where Cooper is because, again, he's trying to block his guy. Just that hustle alone put him in the way between his guy, or between Cooper and the guy that TJ Hall was trying to block. If you look at it on tape, it looks like Max Llewellyn gets smacked in the back by the Michigan State guy. But what it did was, instead of allowing Michigan State, because they had two guys there, Cooper made the first guy miss, and TJ Hall's guy was going to make the play from behind. But because Max Llewellyn was running all the way down, he got in between the two. Cooper made one guy miss. He made the punter look stupid and then went and scored a touchdown. Like, that stuff is really good to have that kind of hustle. So really, the unsung hero should be the entire punt return team. But if I have to pick one particular player, I'm going to pick Max Llewellyn for running back. So he's rushing the punt, turns around, comes back 40 yards, and just happens to get in the way of somebody else's guy because he's hustling. And I think that's kind of indicative of what Iowa football is, especially on special teams. So that's this week's unsung hero.
Yeah, it feels like special teams is just a lot of effort in a very small amount of time that a lot of people don't even realize what's happening. Because to the average eye, or just watching the whole thing happen, you're watching, assuming we're out there, you're watching Tori, and then you're watching Cooper, whoever's catching it, and then that's kind of it. And how far did Cooper get? Oh, that's okay, cool, moving on. But really, there's a lot of nuance in there and a lot of things that are going on in just a really short 3 to 5 seconds. Like,
if you go back and watch the punt return, Max Llewellyn is in the clip at the beginning because they show the ball, and then he doesn't come in again until TJ Hall's guy is about to make the play, and then it's like, shoop, real quick, he gets hit in the back, and then Cooper makes a move. Like, it's really quick on the play.
Cool. Well, now you know what to look for.
Everybody.
I love it. Well, that's your Unsung Hero presented by JB Roofing. We're going to come back with our conversation with Nico Ragaini. Stay right here. Need a new roof, gutter, or siding in Eastern Iowa? Call JB Roofing, a local and reliable roofer with over 20 years of experience. They do one roof at a time, unlike others who juggle multiple projects and cut corners. They also serve a 45-mile radius around Kelowna and help you with any insurance claims. Don't wait. Call 319-656-ROOF or visit their website, jbroofingkelowna.com, for a free estimate. JB Roofing, the small town roofer you can trust. Hey, Matt, did you know that Iowa City Tire does more than just tires?
Yeah. I mean, they've been servicing the corridor for 40 years.
Okay, but did you know that until somebody had to tell you?
No, I didn't.
Well, hey, check out how they're doing things in a very different way at Iowa City Tire and Service, where service actually comes first. Visit ictire.com. Alrighty, welcome back. Today we are joined by a special guest. It is Nico, the other 89 in the house.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited to be here.
Hey, we're glad to have you. Like I said, the two 89s.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I'm more interested in is she didn't say your last name on purpose.
No, yeah, I didn't.
So can you please clear it up for everybody out there? How do you pronounce it, or why do we pronounce it? Just take me through it.
Mm-hmm. So the correct way to pronounce it is Ragaini.
Mm-hmm.
So Ragaini. But it's a little hard to say sometimes. So even sometimes when people ask me, I'm just like, Nico Ragaini. Just get it out there nice and fast. But the correct way, if you ask my grandparents, they would say it Ragaini.
Gotcha.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
Where are your grandparents from?
Italy.
Okay.
Yeah. So both of my dad's parents grew up in Italy and then came over here. And also my dad's stepmother, my sister, actually just went to Italy for 2 weeks a couple months ago. So Dang. It was cool. Yeah, I've been trying to go for a couple years, but doesn't really align with my football schedule. So maybe one day.
Yeah, well, a long time in the future after you're done playing football.
Yeah, that's the goal.
So then you were born in Northeastern United States?
I was born in New Haven, Connecticut.
Okay.
Pretty much lived there my whole life.
And then how did you get here? Talk about your recruiting process.
Yeah, so...
Well, you went to a prep school.
Yeah.
Right? So I have no idea what that means. I just have heard the term prep school before.
Cool. It's a long story, really. I've told this story about recruiting a lot, but yeah, we do. So I went to high school at Notre Dame West Haven. It was a private school and played football. I had a bunch of coaches talk to me and they all pulled that same stuff about I come to camp, do all this, try to earn the scholarship, and it didn't end up working out. I had a bunch of Division I AA offers and some Ivy League offers, but I went to a Yale game and there were 2,000 people in the stands. I was like, this isn't for me. So I decided to take a prep year at Avon Old Farm. So you repeat a year. You could go there as a freshman or as a sophomore, junior, senior, or a post grad, which is what I did. So you repeat a year.
Of high school?
Yes.
Okay.
So I did my 5th year of high school at Avon Old Farms. And you live there. It's a boarding school. People from all around the country go there, all around the world actually, which is it's pretty cool. I had a friend from California who played lacrosse, and my roommate, his name is Casey Rogers. He played at Nebraska actually, transferred to Oregon. He had the fake punt 2 weeks ago. If you were watching the game against Colorado, he had a pretty big play, which was cool.
He's too big to be doing that.
Yeah, he was a tight end in high school, and then he went to college. He's like massive human being now. Yeah, he did. And so Coach O'Keefe went to the same high school as me, actually. He's from Milford, Connecticut, which is like 10 minutes away from me. We went to the same high school, and we were in talks like for a couple years. I came to camp here one summer, and they ended up not offering me that day. I was real upset. I remember Coach O'Keefe took me in the like room with the glass right above the field.
Oh, yeah, yep.
And I was like, oh my God, the offer's about to come. I was really excited. And then he was like, yeah, we're going to see how this year goes. I was like, all right, man. I went back to the hotel. I was like crying and everything. I saw on Twitter they offered another receiver. It's a long story, but the season ended up going, my prep school season. I was still in talks with Coach O'Keefe. And on like a Friday, he told me, we're going to let you know if you have the offer tomorrow. Like something like that.
Do you play on Friday? Well, on prep school, do you play on Friday nights or do you play on?
You play on Saturdays.
Play on Saturday.
Yeah.
So he's gonna tell you on game day?
It was after the season.
Oh, it was out of season.
Yeah.
Okay.
You actually have a half day on Wednesday and a half day on Saturday at prep school. It's crazy. You got to wear a shirt, tie, blazer every day. Got to shave your face every day. You like your teachers.
So you grew out of that part.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. I'm done with that shaving face thing, but it's crazy. Like the dorm room is in the middle, and then on each side of the dorms, there's like 2 houses, and your teacher's family, like, and their families live in the houses. It's crazy. It's really cool. Our refectory, our dining hall where we lived, was actually like 3rd on the list to be like the dining hall in Harry Potter for the movies. It's like the school was a beautiful school. It was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big Harry Potter nerd over there.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
I just watched all of them during COVID for the first time.
It took you that long?
Yeah, Spencer is like a big Harry Potter guy. He like made me watch them all with him, but they were pretty good movies.
It's a great, yeah. Good series.
It was. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, like Coach O'Keefe ended up calling me the next day. It was like, we haven't made up our mind yet. We'll call you sometime this week. And they never called me. And then he was like, all right, we'll call you next Saturday morning. And he texted me and was like, yeah, Nick, I don't think it's going to work out. And so I'm like real upset at this point. I'm pretty sure I texted him back. I was like, you're making a huge mistake. Like, I know I could play for you guys, all this stuff. And then he actually called me like a couple hours later and was like, we have 1 spot for you. I was like, all right, I'm committing right now. And then he was like, yeah, we need you out here like in 3 days to early enroll. So I packed all my stuff up at prep school, hopped on a plane, and started at Iowa. So it was pretty cool. It was the best decision I ever made. And yeah.
Bro, the 89 stories
are similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was a gray shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't supposed to start until the following spring. And I was working a paint job 8 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Worked on Saturdays. Like I didn't work out. I didn't do anything because I was like, I got a year. And 4 days before camp, they let a receiver go and said, we got a spot for you. Could you be here?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is wild. That's probably why they
crazy.
gave you 89.
Right. I feel like there's so many things in Iowa football where like stories match up like that, you know, which I think is special about Iowa football for sure.
Dang. Okay. So tell me about your like childhood growing up.
Siblings, all that stuff.
Italian family.
Yeah.
Big family.
Huge family.
Okay.
Yeah. I have 2 younger sisters. One of my sisters actually followed me to school here. She's a junior right now. She lives like right next to Kinnick, so nice and easy for my parents to help them with the tailgate and stuff because they have like a a huge tailgate right across the street at the hotel every Saturday.
So that's the tailgate you want to go to because I bet the food is.
Oh yeah, they got good food. Gray sometimes helps them out and like caters and stuff like that.
Dang, Peter also helps?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All pretty good stuff. And then my youngest sister is a freshman right now at UConn. We tried to get her out here, but she loves to be different and like make everything difficult. So she went to UConn. We were pretty pissed at her about that. Yeah.
So what was it like growing up though? Were you like big sports family or were you kind of an outlier with that?
Definitely a huge sports family. My dad played baseball at UConn.
Okay.
He was the captain. He was a catcher. So
Dang.
yeah, we were pretty much playing sports all the time. My younger sister played sports, and then the youngest one, like I said, she's different with everything. She was like a dancer and a cheerleader and always had to be different from us.
Are
And
you saying those aren't sports?
those are definitely sports.
Thank you, Nico. I almost had to kick you out.
Yeah. So big sports families. I've always had like all my family at all my games and stuff like that. I had 60 people out to the Penn State game 2 weeks ago.
How'd you get
So-
that many tickets?
Yeah, Quinn helps us out. You know, Quinn, the ticket guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he helps my dad out a lot, and guys are always super helpful, sending me tickets when they don't need them and stuff like that. So
That's big time.
yeah.
Did you play any other sports? Other than
I
football?
played lacrosse. Lacrosse was my other big sport. I was actually
Okay.
committed to play lacrosse. I was
Where?
supposed to go to my freshman year. I committed to the University of Albany for lacrosse,
Okay.
and then I decommitted and committed to Cornell, and then I decommitted from Cornell and committed to Iowa. Yeah,
Do you know where Drexel University is?
Drexler.
Drexel. The Drexel Dragons.
It sounds kind of familiar.
It's just outside of Philly.
I know. I've heard of the lacrosse team though. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. My brother is an athletic trainer out there
Cool.
for their lacrosse team. I don't know
Nice.
if it was that small of a world, but
Was field hockey big too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a couple friends that played field hockey out there.
See, you wouldn't expect for like middle of like Midwest Iowa to have a good field hockey team. But, like
Mhm.
we have one of the best in the nation. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Are we number one or did we just lose or something like
We
that?
did. We just lost. So we'll see where we are in the rankings. But yeah, we've been number one for like 4 weeks straight. Do you follow it all? Like, do you go out to the games?
I went to one game a couple years ago because I had to work it for, I think it's field experience for
Oh, yeah.
my major. So I worked one of those games. I think we were pretty highly ranked back then too.
Yeah.
been
And we
good for a
have,
while.
yeah, we have like some girls from like England or something like that. And
Mhm.
I remember she was like smacking the ball around. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you decommitted. You said, was it your junior year from that second team?
From Cornell.
Cornell?
When did you decommit from Cornell?
I don't remember. I think it was my senior year before prep school. I kind of just like had them in my back pocket just in case nothing with football came around.
Mm-hmm.
But
That
football
was always
my
my plan. Yeah, I always knew I wanted to play football, and it was just like if it didn't work out, I was going to play lacrosse. Like after I decommitted from there, I like thought that there was a chance that I would end up playing football and lacrosse at Yale. That was probably what I was going to do if I didn't end up here.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Do you golf at all?
I don't. I got a bad back a little bit, so like I feel like swinging the club won't be smart for me at this point. So
Yeah.
You
Just
guys
work on a
golf?
short game. I
What?
try to golf.
you any good?
I'm physically capable of golfing.
Yeah.
No, he's pretty good.
Okay. Are you?
No.
No.
No, she
No,
gets mad.
absolutely terrible.
She hates
I
golf.
hate the sport so much. I think it's
Yeah.
the worst sport.
I'm not very good either. I
Cool.
struggled. I've been like twice.
Well, Tori was on here and just said that it's an excuse for guys to get away from their wives. And I
Can
was
you
like,
hear
"Shut
Tori
up."
saying that? I was like, what's wrong with you?
It's like, Tori, you're not helping my cause.
Yeah, he's a character. Tori's a good guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys, between the two of you, who's older?
He is. He's got me beat for oldest guy on the team, thankfully.
Are you second oldest?
I am second oldest. I'm pretty sure.
You 25 or 24?
24. I turned 25 in January.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm getting up there.
What's the birthday?
January 26th.
26. So you'll be.
yeah, you'll be done playing by then, though.
Mm-hmm.
As far as this season's concerned.
Yeah.
Dang.
Someone was just like joke with me a couple days ago saying, like once I hit 25, you like round up to 30, so they could call me like then I'm in my 30s at that point. And I was like, that's not a funny joke. Let's not do that.
I mean, I'm 29. I still don't let people say I'm 30.
Are you 29?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Easley. Easley always makes fun of me because we're like kind of close in age, but I've been playing for like 4 years after him. I feel like he's like 27.
That's crazy.
He might be.
Uh-huh.
Dang. Huh.
Well, 24 was like an outlier. Like we had Jake Hillier who was 24 by the time that he was done playing. But most of the guys were like 22, 23.
Yeah. I feel like I got the COVID year and I repeated high school. I repeated the year, so that's why right. I'm so old. But yeah, I'm like a year older than all the other 6 years.
Dang.
Yeah. But I feel like when everyone talks about like the 6-year guys on my team, they like for some reason only single me out and like not the 2 other ones. I'm like, I'll hear a 6-year joke and Joe Evans and Shanzo will be next to me. I'm like, we're not gonna hit them with the jokes either. It's just me. I'm taking all of it.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like I gotta come clean. I've definitely made jokes about how long you've been at Iowa.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll be like, Nico's been there for like 90 years. I mean, he knows what's going on.
Yeah, see, I saw like a tweet yesterday. I was like, this dude's been here forever. Like, could he just leave already? I was like,
you got some of those too, though.
Yeah.
In your 5th year.
Well, they called me Pops. The rest of the receiver room did.
Good day.
Mm-hmm.
And that made me feel so much older.
Yeah, it's a tough nickname. I got a cool nickname in the receiver room. Everyone calls me Swags.
Ooh, that's a good name.
Yeah.
We
I
can't
guess they
complain
think
about
I'm
that.
swaggy.
I mean, you do have cool shoes on.
Yeah, right. I like to think I'm a little swaggy.
So you said there was a story behind the shoes.
Yeah.
You walked in.
I got a little snake on the side. I don't know if the camera could pick it up or not.
That would be the main one.
But matches one of my tattoos. I got a snake right here. I think I have 13 tattoos total as of now.
Do you want to take us through each one? Or just, you can highlight some of the major ones.
My favorite one is probably the flowers. I like the flowers a lot. That's what everyone usually notices the most. It's the flowers back home in front of my house. And they're black-eyed Susans. So, yeah, that's pretty much why.
Sweet. Okay.
Is there a number like associated with it, or?
So I went to the tattoo guy during COVID, and he kind of just put it on my arm, and I didn't really like have it. I showed him a picture of something, and the picture didn't have that many flowers on it, but the guy put like the.
He was just trying to get more money, man.
That's what my mom thinks he was trying to do. He was like, he got you. I was like, all right, but he ended up putting 21 flowers on my arm, which is like my family's number. All of us are like 21. That's our number for sports. And like, if you look at our Instagram, it's all like Nico Rex 21. Yeah. My sister's Bella Rex 21. So it was kind of like a sign a little bit.
Dang, that's cool. Okay,
Yeah.
What else do you have? What's up with the snake? What's the significance?
There really was none. I just felt like I had to find like a little tough tattoo to go with the flowers. So I was like, let's put a snake on there.
These are the stories.
Yeah.
These are the stories that people like mothers hear that are like, if you're gonna get a tattue, it has to mean something. That's not, you don't want to tell people that.
Yeah.
No, that's like the college kid answer for sure.
Yeah. Trying to think. I got a 21 tattoo up here. Me and my sisters have. I've got like the 3 triangles right here, and then I'm the shaded in. One of my middle sister has this one shaded in. My youngest has that one shaded in.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I've got a dove on an olive branch, which is like a symbol of hope and optimism. So just like saying positive, stuff like that.
Very good.
That one at least got some meaning to it.
Is
More
it
than a snake?
So I had contemplating getting a tattoo when I was in college.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any?
No. I was going to do something really cool, but I decided against it.
You chickened out?
Yeah.
How
pretty
come?
much. It was going to be a big one. So
What
I was going to
be?
have, so like I normally point it first down with my right hand.
Okay.
So I was going to have like claw marks here, like talon marks that were going to lead all the way to the back. And then my nickname in college was Meerkat.
Mm-hmm.
So it was going to be like meerkat fangs on the back side of it, like it's tearing out of me. And then on the back, it was going to be a hawk, like it ripped through. And then I was like,
Sounds
I really
pretty
don't
cool.
wanna. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to maintain that. Like that's going to be way too much to like.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
If anybody out there want to draw up something.
Yeah. You should get it done.
But then I was going to go like that and it'd be like the meerkat.
Yeah, that would have been
Got you.
sick. The Instagram pics would have been yeah. You have any tattoos?
No.
None?
No. We're not doing tattoos. What my mom used to say, you don't put a bumper sticker on a Lamborghini. You ever heard that before?
I've heard it a couple times.
Well, yeah. Pretty much. Okay, tell me about the receiver room right now. Let's go there. Let's get dive in a little more into football.
Yeah, and I've seen that there's a lot more rotating parts. It kind of seems like there's a lot of guys that are finding their ways on the field.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a contrast, and we don't got to get too in depth here, but it seems like on defense, there are less transfers than there have been on offense. And I don't know whether that's like guys leaving, like Sam Laporta leaving for the league.
Yeah.
Obviously, Spencer gets hurt, like some spaces for need, but is that different trying to bring in guys that, like Seth Anderson's young, but like Caleb Brown, I think is second or third year out of Ohio State.
This is second
so
year.
Still young guys, I guess, kind of new to the program. Is it tough bringing those guys along to bring them ready to play on like a Saturday? That's kind of your role now, right?
Yeah, it is. Part of my role is for sure leading and trying to be that older guy that like helps everybody out, all that good stuff. But I feel like guys come from other schools it takes them a minute to like realize how different Iowa is, so the way we do things is not the same way that other schools do things, as I'm sure you know. But once guys get here, I feel like they realize what it takes to get on the field, and the little things here matter more than they might have at other schools. And I think the receivers are doing a pretty good job of understanding that, especially Seth and Caleb Brown taking the role head on and going all out every single day. And both those guys are great guys, and I'm excited for them in the future as well. I didn't really realize how young those guys were, really. Like I think Caleb is 19 and Seth is 20. So
yeah, you got 5 years.
Yeah, I'm 4 and 5 years older than those guys, which is crazy to think about.
So if you're giving them like one major piece of advice about playing at Iowa, what do you think that would be?
One major piece.
Or a couple.
Yeah. I mean, I really think it's just like focus on the little details, because that's what Coach Ferentz cares about the most, like being on time to everything. And I don't know.
What's kind of interesting, the first thing you talk about, sorry, I cut you off there. First thing you talk about is like how to conduct yourself off the field. Like when you say do the little things, it's more about, and I've talked about this a lot, but a lot of guys that I've talked to that either I played with or have come on the show, it's like he cares about you as a person. Like he wants you to leave a better person than when you showed up.
Definitely.
Which I think is like really true, especially when the first thing you say is like, show up on time. Like just do the little things. I mean, we weren't supposed to shoot until later. You were 18 minutes early.
Yeah.
Like little things like that and how to conduct your business, I feel like is what makes Iowa even that much a little different.
We had Robert Gallery as our honorary captain on Friday, and he was just talking to us about how he lives now and how he like still wakes up super early in the morning and like works out, and all the other dads think he's crazy, but only the guys in the room and the guys that have been in like the Iowa facility like know that we're different from most people. And I think that's definitely props to KF for the way he coaches us.
Anything else for Nico?
No, this has been great.
Yeah, this was fun.
You came on.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, swags.
Oh yeah. And pops.
All right. And swags and pops. Look at you guys go. Yours sucks. That's too bad, Matt.
All right.
All right. Well, Nico, thank you so much for coming on. We
thank
appreciate it. Yeah. Best of luck this weekend.
Yep.
This season, Marquee Pizzeria is teaming up with Nico Ragaini to help the University of Iowa Children's Hospital. Together, they've created a new signature pizza, the Nico Parm. Sounds so good. $2 of every pizza will be donated to the Children's Hospital. Visit Marquee Pizzeria, located in the Coralville River Landing, this fall and help the kids by eating pizza.
You know, if you're not in the mood for pizza.
If you're not, I love Estella's because it is fresh. From the fresh grilled steak to the salsas to their fresh pressed tortillas.
I love Estella's because it's quick, you can get in and out, and it doesn't feel like fast food. It feels like fresh food quick.
Yeah, we both love Estella's because it is made with love. They put a lot of pride in their food and customer service, and they are locally owned. Plus, it was my biggest pregnancy craving. I will say that too. That's Estella's Fresh Mex. Fresh food made quick with love.
Locally owned and operated, Performance is a full-service restoration company serving eastern Iowa. As an IICRC certified firm, their multi-licensed technicians have decades of experience in water, mold, and fire mitigation. Whether it's your home or business, this is the team you want in a time of need. Performance Restoration, 319-626-2292.
The Appliance Barn offers a wide range of high-quality appliances at unbeatable prices.
Whether you're in the market for a new refrigerator, dishwasher, or washing machine, they've got you covered.
They also have a delivery and setup department to ensure your appliances get delivered and installed quickly.
To find out more, visit appliancebarn.com.
Alrighty, welcome back. We are going to hop into our preview of Purdue. Are you ready for this?
I can't wait because I know this is one of your most hated. Now, I know that Penn State got really hurt over the way that you talked about their mascot, so I'm excited to see how, Purdue Pete
I know. I'm going to choose my words
up.
wisely this time because apparently the YouTube algorithm just brings the angry people.
Yeah, Penn State was all over our comments.
I know.
They still have a crappy looking mascot.
Stop it. We don't want them back. Just kidding. Most of them were nice. All right, Purdue. So Purdue Pete is their mascot. And I'm going to get into that in just a second. But first, I want to start with a couple of fun facts. So did you know that they have their own airport?
The University of Purdue?
Yes, it's the first university-owned airport. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, their
That's
own
big.
one. And it's the second largest airport in Indiana. I know.
Interesting. Okay.
It's so weird. But I mean, think about Indiana. It's like, it's Indianapolis. What else is there?
Purdue.
Well, yeah, there you go. They're also the first university in the world to have a 4-year bachelor's degree in aviation.
Okay. So they're all about flying. So that
Which
makes
I
sense.
had no idea. Did you know this?
Well, with your dad being a pilot, I feel like you'd know this.
Nope.
Henry?
I know. That's kind of, I'm like wondering why I've never heard of these things. Also, Amelia Earhart served as counselor of careers for women at Purdue in 1953.
Interesting.
I know.
Yeah, everything aviation.
Why wouldn't you be like the Purdue Jets instead of the Boilermakers?
I guess we'll find out.
Wouldn't that be so much
Are
cooler?
we going to find out?
I'm just, no. But I'm just not talking about that at all, actually.
Oh.
That would be so much cooler. Like the Purdue, what else is there? The Purdue Mavericks. That'd be cool. It's like,
I was thinking more like Purdue Stealth Bombers, Purdue
make it longer.
3-1, Purdue.
Stop. Just stop
what's
where
the
you
name of
are.
another plane?
The Purdue Cessnas, just the tiniest little plane. It fits. Okay, moving on.
Purdue Avionics.
Also, this is just a little random one in there. No, stop. Orville Redenbacher graduated from Purdue in 1928.
Get
So
it popping.
without Purdue, you wouldn't have popcorn. Well, you probably still would. He would still come up with it. He just wouldn't have been at Purdue. Okay, moving on. So in 1940, university bookstore owners, listen to these names, Doc Epple and Red Salmons. Not real names. There's no way. Someone made this up. Doc Epple and Red Salmons. Anyway, they decided that they needed a logo. So they came up with Purdue Pete, which at the time didn't have the name Pete.
So they're coming up with a logo or a mascot?
I mean, the same. It's one and the same. Just,
Okay.
Matt, just let me go. See what I said about the spiciness? You just... Okay. So they hired somebody, Art Evans. Again, I just don't know if this is true because you hired somebody to draw a logo and his name is Art.
Maybe that's just his stage name.
I don't know. It just feels like somebody made this up in a journal somewhere and everyone's like, yeah, that's fact. I don't know. Continuing. 1956, Purdue Pete officially became the school mascot and Larry Brambaugh was assigned to find the costume. This is very important. He could not figure out how he was going to make this costume. So a lady from his hometown said that she could make it. And it was a 36-pound paper mache head.
That's a lot of paper mache.
On your head. This lady just made it like probably out of her house, out of the kindness of her heart. And it was that until 1963. Then in 63, the head, this is the best part. This head, I feel bad for the woman that made it, but it flew out of the back of the Boilermaker special, which I guess they took.
Hold on. So they had a paper mache for 10 years. When was that introduced?
56 to 63.
So 7 years. What happens to paper mache in rain?
Maybe they didn't take it out. I don't know. This is all I have. I just found it on a website. All right.
Maybe she made one each game.
So the head flew out of the Boilermaker special on the way back from an Iowa game. Coming back from Iowa City, flies out, and they couldn't find it anywhere. That thing has to be somewhere in someone's basement or like a storage locker or something like that.
If you have Purdue's paper mache head, please reach out to the podcast.
From 1963. Please return it to us. Okay.
We'll make sure it gets in the right hands.
So then they made a new one. I don't have a lot of information about that one until 1976. Then in 76, they made a new one that was made of fiberglass.
Okay.
Okay. I would assume that'd be a little heavy too. Then in 1980, they decided to replace it. And they made one that was a little more angry looking. He had like a furrowed brow, and it was a 10-pound head, which isn't that bad. Not too heavy. Like, that's doable. Anyway, people just weren't super hype about that because he just seemed a little bit mad. Then in 1983, they made Smiling Pete, and he had a chin strap that you could move that made his eyebrows go up and down. It's like they get worse as they go. How is this happening? Then in 1989, students in the Aeronautical Engineering Technology Department created the Purdue Pete that you know and love today. But we have a plot twist. In 2011, they tried to bring in a new one.
Yeah.
He had kind of a more like prominent chin, bigger eyebrows, like shorter head. Maybe we can pull up a picture of this guy. And he literally got booed off of the field. People were so mad that they replaced this. I'm going to be nice. They replaced the 1989 Purdue Pete and booed him off, and they never brought him back again. And so now they have, since
so his
then,
debut was also the finale.
Yeah, that's funny. Poor guy. I don't know what they did with it. They should give that to us too. No, but they booed him off, and so now they just kept the 1989 long head, giant, just staring into your soul eyes, Purdue Pete, and he wears different hats to like all of the events.
They're good with
such.
different hats. Just don't mess with long head, dead eye Purdue Pete.
Yep. So that's the history of the mascot that isn't that good. That's as far as I'm going to go with my with my explanation on Purdue Pete.
We'll just add him to the list that Dax would not willingly take a picture with.
Okay, that's a list I can get. Yeah, I can be on board with that one.
Yes.
So Purdue Pete, and then also Penn State Nittany Lion. That's the two right now.
And really, it's the barometer of whether or not a 2.5 would find it not necessarily endearing, but just would. And so he's 0-2 on those two.
Yeah, it's not a good mascot. I
To
say
be
that
fair,
quietly. Hopefully
he
Purdue
loves
won't hear
taking-
me.
Well, he loves taking pictures with Herky. So
That's true. Okay, what do you have for me with Purdue? What's happening with them? Are they good? Tyron Tracy's still on the team.
yeah, and he made the change to running back. I'm not surprised, just because he's a really strong kid. I kind of figured that he would make the transition to running back where they can kind of utilize that a little bit more. Get him more touches, things like that. It's kind of they got a lot of pieces in the backfield. All three of them saw a lot of time against Illinois, and so anyway, I guess I'll just start on offense. They want to run the football. Tyron Tracy carried the ball 21 times. So, and he was just one of the three. They got Maccabee, who's really good. And they had another player. I'm blanking on his name right now. I apologize. Scored another touchdown. So they've got a trio of guys back there. But Purdue still wants to fling it. They want to throw the ball. And they took deep shot after deep shot after deep shot. They don't always have to connect on all of them. They made a few, but they more or less just want to test it. We can kind of think back to like Riley Moss's debut game against Purdue where they're just hucking it up. And at the time, I think we had Julius Brents on the other side, who then transferred out to K-State. But like, they're not afraid to throw it down the field and to test us. I want them to test number 3. Get them a couple more picks by the end of the game. But Jamari Harris also had a pick against Michigan State, so he's starting to kind of find his rhythm a little bit. If they try and test us, I'll be excited to kind of see how our guys respond.
Wait, hold on. That's so interesting because you brought that up before in the past where you said like if you do take shots, and maybe this is just a conversation you and I have had. I don't know if you said this on the podcast, but like if you do take shots down the field, then like our defense has to respect that. And so it kind of opens up the run game too. And they've got those 3 guys in the backfield. This is all lining up. I totally get this now. Matt, you were teaching me so much. Okay.
For those that are just listening, I winked at the camera. Anyway, yes. So it just makes you have to respect more. Now, yes and no in terms of what in terms of what we do. So we're so fundamentally sound that we're not going to change the way in which we play defense to fit that. We're still going to keep our 5 or 6 in the box. We're not going to widen somebody out just because, and to have less in the box because we need more. I feel confident that Cooper DeJean one-on-one can win. I feel confident that Jamari Harris one-on-one can win. Sebastian Castro has shown flashes on the slot when he's in man-to-man coverage. So we don't play a ton of man. We play more zone when it comes to that. And so it's going to be more winning your one-on-one matchups on the outside. But they do want to pound the rock. And so we got to be aware that it's going to be what?
Explain. Pound the rock.
The rock is also known as the football. Call it the rock. Pound the rock. Just run it.
Run it. Got it.
They're going to run the ball quite a bit. They got some big dudes up front that, they pull quite a few of their guards and tackles and stuff like that, which, most teams do to get guys in the run fit. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a heavy dose of Tyrone Tracy. I think there's a little extra motivation for him. And he talked a lot in the Illinois game. And all I did, I watched the part of the game, but I went back and watched the highlights so I could remind myself. He's talking almost every single time he gets up. So I wouldn't be surprised if he and Jay Higgins, and Deontay Craig, Indianapolis, AAU basketball type stuff, if they share pleasantries when Jay Higgins gets a chance to hit him.
Yeah, Jay Higgins had himself a day versus Michigan State.
Yeah, 12 tackles. Nick Jackson had 10. And he and Nick Jackson forcing that fumble late. Those are some hard hitters.
Okay. Let's talk about the defense on Purdue. What do you got?
Yeah, so they played a lot of man-to-man versus Illinois. And I think part of that is we just think our DBs are better than your receivers. And I think with the way that the narrative has been about Iowa, and the narrative is, our receivers are this, that, the other thing. Again, I'm not agreeing with it. I'm saying that that's the narrative that's out there right now. And then, of course, you factor in the couple drops that happened. I wouldn't be surprised if they just worry about stopping the run and make us have to beat them one-on-one in order to win. And it comes down to leverage when it comes to man-to-man. Now, obviously, you got some athletic moves and you went on the release. And what I mean by the release is if they're close to us in press coverage, you need to be ready with your hands because it's going to be kind of a street fight. You got to have quick feet so that way you can get by the guy without just getting stonewalled. But part of it is about leverage. And let's say I've got an in-breaking route. I don't want to win outside against my guy and then try and have to go back in because he's where I need to be and I can just get stuffed and then I can't run my route. And so now Deacon Hill has to go to the next guy in his progression because I lost on leverage. I saw that a couple times against Penn State where we tried to win outside to win in and you just can't do it. And there are times where, DB says you are not going to go inside. I'm going to force you outside, but then you have to get really creative with how you're going to run your route. Do you vary speeds? Do you vary tempo? Do you just get physical and try and shock them? There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. Do you give a head fake at the top where you try to make him think you're going outside so he has to take an extra step and then you wrap it around? There's a lot of different techniques that you can utilize, but leverage is the biggest thing when it comes to allowing your quarterback an opportunity to throw you the football.
I don't know if I'm just paying attention more today or if you're doing a better job explaining, but you're doing a really nice job. It's actually it's going in here. It's making sense.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
One other thing that Purdue does a lot, and that's on the back end, but up front, they do a lot of really weird things with their D-line. And so we're going to have to be buttoned up, as is the case every week, be buttoned up with our protection. But there are times where they'll have 4 guys with their hand in the dirt, standard. Okay, this looks like a 4-3. Then they'll come out and they'll put 5 guys with their hand down. It's okay, there are 5. But they change up who's coming, who's not, who's blitzing, who's dropping into coverage. They might only have one D lineman with his hand down on the field and everybody else is standing up. And we did some of that. I think we called it a Raider defense or something. We've done that at Iowa before. But they really try to change up who's coming, who's not. They did a couple Cobra blitzes. Do you remember this from a couple weeks ago?
No.
It's the defensive back when he blitzes.
Oh, no, yeah, I totally do. It's when the defensive back blitzes.
Yes, so they did that a couple times against Illinois. I think they did it twice. First time was actually their first touchdown. They hit him hard, and then I think the ball came loose, and they ended up scoring. And then they did it another time where the quarterback spun out and was able to find somebody. So they're not afraid to bring pressure. It's just how are they going to bring pressure? So as long as our guys are communicating up front, and the blitz pickup, again, has to be key. We're down top tight end, down top quarterback, down top running back, down second top running back. Third top running back has been relatively well outside of the fumble. Mm-hmm. So we have to be buttoned up and know what's happening, because now obviously I expect more teams to blitz. I expect more man-to-man. And so we're really going to have to win on the outside. The thing I like about Deacon Hill, seemed like he knew where to put the football. Our guys didn't make the catch. I'm not worried about it. It's an off. And to me, that's an outlier. So the fact that he's going to have a full week of understanding how he throws the football, the ball placement, I thought was phenomenal.
Very good. And also, he can hold his own back there.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about him getting hit on a consistent basis.
Shag off a couple. It reminds me of Stanley, Ohio State, when he had the guy wrapped around his ankle and he just stood there.
Oh, you mean the now the best defensive end in football?
Oh, that's who that was?
It was one of the Bosa brothers. I can't remember who it was.
Okay, gotcha. I did not know that's who that was.
I want to say it was Nick Bosa at the time. I think Joey Bosa had already graduated, but either way.
He just kind of stood there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I feel like.
Might have been Joey Bosa.
I feel like Joey. Deacon could do a little bit of that coming up this weekend. Okay, Matt, do you have anything else you want to say?
It was really cool having Nico on. It took probably far too long to figure out what his last name is, actually, in terms of like the general public. But, it's nice that we finally got that buttoned up. But outside of that, you know, I'm excited to see what continues to happen in Iowa City in terms of with Deacon Hill under center, you know, and getting the receivers the ball in space. I think that'll be interesting. Yeah,
it definitely is one of those things where it's an unexpected twist to the season, an unfortunate one in terms of Cade and all of those things, and obviously Luke Lachey and a couple of running backs. But I think it's also, I don't want to say exciting because that's not really what I mean to say, but it is like
it's indicative of next man in.
It's a plot twist, and it's like, okay, so now what? And what is this going to look like? And it kind of gives you this, I guess, kind of excitement going into the next game of we don't even know what to expect, sort of thing.
Well, and Deacon Hill said that it was like a dream come true playing that game in Connecticut.
That's pretty cool.
That's unbelievably cool. And now he gets an opportunity, most likely, to go out and compete again. I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm pumped. Okay, beat the Boilermakers. Purdue Pete, stay away. Just don't even come over to the south end zone on Saturday. All right, that was Talking Hawks. You guys have a great week, and we will see you next Monday. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.